Well, after nearly 10 years of hoping, waiting, and longing for this to happen, and pretty much accepting fate that it probably wasn't going to happen, it's finally here, ladies and gentlemen. We have Windows Vista Extended Kernel. Much like the Windows 2000 Extended Kernel, which allowed Windows 2000 to run modern software, we have one for Windows Vista now. And yes, this is real. This is not fake. This is not Windows 7 made to look like Vista. If you all are wondering, here's the classic control panel. Let's see, what else can you not do in Windows 7? Oh, the Welcome Center. Let's open that up. As you can see, it's got the animation and everything that does not work in 7. So, this is not just a theme on Windows 7. This is the real thing. This is really Windows Vista. And it's currently in development by Win32 over at msfn.org. I'll put a link to the extended kernel files and the thread to it on msfn.org. And so far, the two major programs that you can now run on Vista that you couldn't before are Modern Chromium and Firefox Quantum. These are the two I'm going to be demonstrating today because I feel like these are going to be the two that everyone uses and is really anxious to run on Vista because a modern web browser is like the most important thing in an operating system, honestly, these days for most people. So here we have Firefox Quantum version 68.10 ESR. As of right now, this is the latest version of the 68 ESR branch, just released a few days ago, or earlier this month, I think. So here we are, Firefox Quantum 68.10 ESR. We can go to YouTube really quickly, show you that YouTube works. I'll run over to my channel and play a video really quick because I don't want to play someone else's video and get copyright issues, so I'll just play one of mine. So yeah, as you can see, you get the idea. YouTube works. If we go to the themes, let's see. If we go to the themes here, I'll show you that works also. So if I can scroll here, it's not wanting me to scroll. We'll pick this one. It's the first one I saw, so just pick it. And just to show that it does work, as you can see, themes work. I think I'm going to go back to the dark theme. I like that one better, but you get the idea. Firefox Quantum works. Add-ons also work. You can add them from the Firefox website. So we'll add uBlock Origin really quickly. It's a staple in my web browsers pretty much. So we'll add that one just to demonstrate that works. If it will add, yep, there we go. So as you can see, we've got add-ons working, we've got themes. So there is one caveat with Firefox though. For some reason, well, there is a reason. I can explain somewhat. Sorry, I lost my train of thought there. Firefox does not support Windows Vista's Windows Media Foundation codecs that Microsoft added to Vista with the Platform Update Supplement. And what does this mean exactly? So what these are, they are codecs that Microsoft added to Windows Vista. They're called H.264/AAC, which allows you to play it allows you to play videos on certain websites, mainly Twitter and Twitch. So if I go to Twitch, I'll go to my favorite streamer's site on Twitch, and we'll try to watch a stream here. You'll see that it won't work because Firefox does not properly support Windows Vista system codecs since version 53. Because what Mozilla did. As you can see here, it's not working. What Mozilla did was they removed the code from the browser that detected these codecs within Vista, and it only supports Windows 7 or later. So while YouTube works, you will probably encounter a site or two or several that just won't play videos because the browser's not properly supporting these codecs for some reason. Well, for like what I just said, because Mozilla removed the code necessary to do so. I think Win32 is probably going to fix this problem. I don't know exactly how he's going to go about doing that. That is beyond my capability. So, but I'm pretty confident that he'll have it sorted out in due time. So just be aware of that for now. Just be aware, just that this extended kernel, like I've said, is in very early stages. So I don't recommend that you install it on your main system. I recommend that you only do this in a virtual machine or a Vista system that you don't really care about screwing up, because you may encounter unexpected problems in doing it. And you also need to make sure that your Vista system is up to date until at least April 2017. Otherwise, things may not work as expected. And especially, you need to make sure it's up to date if you're going to be replacing the system files, but I'll get more into that in just a moment. So there's Firefox, it's working. So now we have Chromium. So the latest version of Chromium that works with this is version 72. I'll put a link to this build in the description. Some early builds of 73 also work, but 74 and later just crash upon startup. This is likely due to additional missing functions that Win32 has yet to add to the extended kernel. So, just for now, this is the latest version that you can use. Now, unlike Firefox, on the other hand, you can actually view videos in this on Twitch and Twitter, because Chrome actually supports Vista's codecs like it's supposed to. Or I think it just uses its own codecs. I'm going to mute this tab here so it don't play anything. So as you can see, this ad is playing. It's buffering and it's really laggy just because this is a virtual machine. But as you can see, it's working, unlike in Firefox. It wasn't working. Because Chrome uses the... I think it's called, what is it called? I don't want to pronounce it wrong and sound like a dumbass, so let me look it up here because I know the files for it. I think it's Widevine. Is that what it's called? I don't know. I can't remember. I think it's called Widevine. I hope I'm not saying that wrong because I sound like an idiot if I am saying that wrong. But anyway, Chromium supports Vista's codecs, or it has its own codecs that it uses for things like that. So you can actually view, all media types in Chrome, unlike in Firefox. So that's one advantage to Chrome over Firefox. There's one more advantage to Chrome, and that I've noticed, and that is that it supports Vista's DirectWrite font rendering system. Now, in Windows Vista, DirectWrite is it's part of Direct2D version 1.0, and unfortunately in Firefox they removed the code to support that. They only support Direct2D 1.1 or later, which is part of Windows 7 only. So the fonts look slightly worse in Firefox versus Chrome, where they still have the code evidently to support Vista's DirectWrite system, because the fonts look a lot smoother. So that's another advantage to Chrome. Now, Chrome may be sounding like super, good to you right now, and it is, as long as you don't need add-ons. Unfortunately, add-ons do not work in Chrome at the moment on the Vista extended kernel. So if we try adding them, you'll see you will get an error for some reason. It says that it cannot be installed. As you can see here, it says Package is invalid. Default local is defined, but default data could not be loaded. So that happens when you try to install like pretty much any add-on. There are a couple I've gotten to work, but very rarely. Like most of them just don't work. So that's an issue right now. I don't know why it's not working. I don't know if it's because of a missing function or something that Win32 still needs to add or what. But anyway, that is Chromium. Now, I'm going to show you this list that I made. It's similar to my last versions of Software Thread for Vista. And I will just go to it really quickly here if Chrome will let me. See here, software compatible with Windows Vista Extended Kernel. And right now, I still this list is pretty outdated right now. I've got to update it. I haven't updated it in almost a week. But as you can see, I'm trying to build up a little list here of all of the applications that have been verified working thanks to the extended kernel. So all of what you see here did not work or does not work on vanilla Vista without the extended kernel. I'll put a link to this in the description also so you can take a look at it. And here is the thread on extended kernel by Win32. And like I said, I will put a link to the extended kernel files in the description. And now I'm going to give you a little overview and tutorial on how to install it. So, here's what you need to do. So, if you have a Vista system that you don't want to take the risk of bricking it, and you have a lot of really important data, and you just cannot afford to lose it whatsoever. Like, it's very important. Don't do this method that I'm about to show you, because not only could things go horribly wrong and your Vista system won't boot anymore, but it requires special criteria to be met in order to work. So what you need to do is make sure that your Vista system is up to date until at least April of 2017. So that's until the end of Vista support lifecycle. So you don't have to have the additional Server 2008 updates, if you know what I'm talking about. The security updates for the server version of Vista that Microsoft released for 3 more years after Vista was dropped by them, that you can install on Vista to give it an additional 3 years of security updates. Those are not necessary for this to work, but it's recommended that you at least, it's important that you update until at least April 2017, because if you don't, more than likely your Vista system is going to blue screen upon startup. Just trust me, I know it sucks having to update, getting Vista up to date, but thankfully I made a video for that too. I'll put a link to it in the description. There's a card for it that should be popping up right now to take you to a tutorial on how to get Windows Vista's Windows Update to stop hanging at the checking for updates phase and help you get it up to date. There's not very much work you have to do to get it to work. It's pretty easy. I know I posted it in 2017, but it still applies today. It still works. I just did it on this virtual machine here just yesterday, and it worked just fine. So anyway, once you got your Vista system up to date, and once you've downloaded the system files here, here's what you can do. Here's what you have to do in order to replace Vista's system files with the extended versions. So one thing I forgot to mention right off the bat, you must be running 64-bit Windows Vista for this to work. 32-bit Vista, nuh-uh, not going to work. Don't even try it. If your system type here says a 32-bit operating system, do not install these. And the reason I say that is because this extended kernel, these are 64-bit system files. Win32 has not yet started on the 32-bit or x86 version of the extended kernel at this time, because he's prioritizing the 64-bit version at the moment, because that's what most people use. So like I've said, if you're running 32-bit Vista, Do not do this because it's not going to work and it will absolutely fuck up your computer beyond belief. So don't do it. And in addition to this, even if you're not going to care about, if this system gets broken or not, you want to go in here and make a backup of all of these corresponding files in System 32. Make a backup of all of them, search for each one, and copy it from this folder to another folder. Maybe put a folder on your desktop and name it backups or something like that. Put the DLLs in that folder so that way you have them. And so after you do that, after you've downloaded the files, you want to copy all of them to your desktop. Just put them on the desktop because it'll make it so much easier. So then what you do is you want to boot in to your Windows Vista installation media. If you don't have one, I have a link in the description to a Vista ISO image that you can download, because this is necessary in order for this to work. So you want to boot from it. So I'm just going to boot into it right here. And so, just a moment. I have to wait for it to boot up here. Basically, I'll just go ahead and explain really quick what we're going to do. We're going to be replacing the DLL files from within the Vista pre-installation environment, because you can't replace those DLLs while Vista is running because they're in use by the system. So, if it will load here. So we go to Next and click on Repair Your Computer. Gotta wait for this message to go away. So then you click Next and click on Open a Command Prompt window, this link above it. So then you want to CD, which is you're going into the into a new directory. So you type in CD and then you hit \D or /D. Yeah, /D. And this stands for drive, because this is indicating to it that you want to switch to a different drive letter. And then you're going to go to wherever Vista is installed, whatever drive letter represents your installation for Vista. So in this case, it's C:. That's what you want to do. You want to not forget the colon. In most cases, drive C will be where Vista is at. And just to double check, what you can do is type in dir. This stands for directory listing. And then you will see all of the files within your Vista installation. So then you want to CD again into your users folder, and then CD into whatever your username folder is. So in my case, this is admin. So if your username is like John or Mary or whatever it is, that's what you're going to type here. Instead of admin, you will type like, CD John, CD Mary, or Jack, or Seth, whatever your name is. So I'm going to type in admin, and then you want to type in CD desktop, because this is where your DLL files are at, remember? It's where I told you to put them. And then you're going to hit copy. You're going to type in copy, and then an asterisk. So you press Shift and 8, and that's your asterisk symbol, .dll, and then you're going to type in C, or whatever your drive letter is for Vista, again, Windows System 32. And when you would press enter, normally it would say, okay, do you want to replace this file? And you would hit Y and then press enter, and then do that for every single one. But I've already done that, so it just says here the system cannot find the file specified because I've already done it and I deleted all the DLLs off of my desktop. And again, don't do this unless your Vista system is up to date until April 2017 and that your Vista system is 64-bit. If your system does not meet both of these criteria, don't do this, because if you try it and it doesn't work, I'm not helping you, because I don't have time to be a tech support hotline. I'm sorry, I just don't. I have a job outside of YouTube, and that's stressful enough, and it takes up enough of my time, and I just don't have time to be a technical support hotline for people that want to try this. And I'm sure Win32 does not either. So just don't go bombarding him with, oh, it doesn't work. I tried it and it doesn't work. My Vista system, I didn't update it and it's 32-bit. It doesn't work. Why isn't it working? Because you didn't listen to what I said. So just please, for the love of God, don't be stupid. Don't replace system files unless you know what you're doing. So after that, you want to close out of it, and then you hit restart. And when you do, you should be able to then run Firefox Quantum 68 or Chromium 72. That's the latest version of Chromium that you can run, or any of the other software that was listed on that list that I showed you just a few minutes ago. Now, let's say that you don't have a Vista system that you're willing to, risk or to sacrifice, rather, for this project. Oh, and there's one more thing I forgot to mention. You cannot run Firefox yet. If you replace the DLL files, that's not enough. I forgot. I'm sorry. I totally forgot this part. If you just replace those DLL files, there's one more thing you have to do in order to run Firefox. So, I'll put a link to this program in the description. Gotta wait for this thing to boot up. Hello, it's taking forever, I'm sorry. Well, anyway, I'll come back to that. So, like I said, there's one more thing you have to do. I'll show you in just a moment when that boots up. So we have Firefox here on my system. Now, see, this is my main system, and I have not installed the extended kernel on it by replacing system files. I don't have it installed because... Sorry about that. I don't want to risk, messing up my system here. So what have I done? What have I done here to get Firefox working? So here's how you do that. So you want to download Firefox Quantum. Now, I'm going to tell you this too. I know this is a lot to take in. So you see how on 68 Quantum over here, once it launches, so you see how over here on 68 Quantum on Vista 68 ESR, whenever I type something in the address bar, it comes up with predictions and everything, and I can also search the web for things from here. So this works because I replaced the system files in System 32. And it only works if you do that. If you don't do that and you do the method I'm about to show you, these will not work. You cannot type an address in the address bar and have predictions come up, and you cannot search from here. And when you press the arrow here or press enter, the web page will not load. I'm not sure why this happens. It just doesn't do anything when you try doing that. So if you're going to run 68 Quantum, this, like the system file replacing method, is necessary. However, if you want to go back a few versions and run Firefox 64, which is what I have here, then that is not necessary. You can do the method I'm about to show you, because here I'm running 64.0.2, and this is the final version that works without the need to replace system files. And here's how I did it. And before I show you that, let me show you how to actually get Firefox to run after you replace the system files, because there's one more thing you need to do. So you want to go to wherever the directory is, hang on just a moment. You want to download Firefox, okay? So you want to download it. You want to also download and install 7-zip. I'll put the link to that in the description. After you download the 68.10 ESR setup file, you want to extract it with 7-zip. Okay, so you want to extract that, and you should get this folder here. Okay, you've got core and you've got setup. You want to go into core, and then you want to search up here. You want to just type in .exe. If you put an asterisk in front of that, does that just show you? Yeah, okay. So you want to put an asterisk and then .exe, and it will show you all the .exe files within the folder. So here's what you want to do. For every single one of them, you want to download and install this program. First of all, you want to download and install this program called Explorer, or Cff Explorer. I'll put a link to that in the description. It's very, very necessary for this. If you don't install it, it's not going to work. So you want to install that program. I've already done so. So after you install it, you want to go in here for every single exe file. So we'll do Firefox. You want to right click on it and click on Open with Cff Explorer. After it opens, you want to go over here to the optional header button and click on it. And over here where it says major operating system version and minor operating system version, this is where you need to pay attention. So where you really have to change something is minor operating system version. And it says, normally it will say 0001, which means Windows NT 6.1, which that is the internal name for Windows 7. Vista's, on the other hand, is NT 6.0. So in here, you would want to just double click on this and change the final digit, which was normally a 1. This is what it is by default, 1. You want to get rid of the 1 and put a 0 there. Whoops, 0. And you want to do the same thing for this line down here. There's two lines. There's one here and one here. You want to do that for both of them. And then after that, you want to click on the save icon, and it will say overwrite original file, and then you'll click yes. And then you can close out of that and just do that again for every single one. Same thing. Go here, change the two sections here, save it, click yes when it prompts you to overwrite the file, close out of it, do that for every single one. You will have to do this. If you don't do it, you will get that infamous, this application is not a valid Win32 application. You'll get that error because because Firefox is not compiled to run on Vista by default. That's why. So basically what you're doing is you're telling Firefox that it is compiled to run on Vista by changing that to 6.0, and then after you do that, it should run. So this is necessary for every single, like, no matter what version of Quantum you want to try, it's necessary. So even with 64, which is what I'm about to show you, it's also necessary to do that. But with Chromium, you don't have to do that. There is one thing about Chromium, though, I forgot to mention also, is, I will put a link to it in the description, don't worry. You will need to install the Roots Certificate Update for Windows Vista. It's a very small download. It's only 405 kilobytes. I'll put a link to it in the description. You run it, and it will just, if you have user account control enabled, it'll like prompt you. You click continue, and then just wait about 10 seconds, and it will install silently in the background. And after it's installed, run Chromium, and you will no longer get these ridiculous certificate errors all the time, because like they will pop up constantly when you try to load pretty much any website. You'll get certificate errors if you don't run that. And one more little thing, if you want to get rid of this annoying ass freaking info bar at the top about end of support for Vista, even though that was like 4 years ago and I don't understand why they still have it there, you can right click on it, right click on the shortcut to chrome.exe. So like you want to go into Chrome here, wherever you have Chrome downloaded, and then send it to the desktop, create a shortcut on the desktop, because then you can do this. You want to right click on it, click properties, and next to target here, you want to just go to the very end of the line and then hit space and then 2 dashes and then type in disable -info bars, and that's one word, info bars. Click OK, and you'll no longer get that stupid error message every time. Well, it's not really an error, but you get the point. You no longer will get that dumb message every time. I hate that thing. And if y'all knew about Chromium on Vista, you probably knew that if y'all used it back in the day, rather, if y'all used Chromium or Chrome, Google Chrome, whatever, on Vista back in around 2016, you probably remember whenever Google decided that they were going to just royally screw Vista users over and just throw us all on the Windows XP version of Chrome. Well, whenever that happened, we lost the Arrow Glass transparency in favor of the really ugly ass blue bar, which was like an eyesore on Vista. It looked absolutely horrible because it was intended for Luna, like the blue Windows XP Luna theme, and they thought, oh, well, this will look just fine on Vista. We don't care. And, that was really, really ugly, and it looked absolutely horrible. Well, you notice here that since Vista is actually using the Windows 7 version of Chromium, I can't talk. We have the Arrow Glass transparency now. So, pretty cool. But unfortunately, if you do not replace system files, you cannot run Chromium. It will just crash upon startup. That's another thing. So in order to run Chromium or Firefox 68 properly, you need to replace system files. For the method I'm about to show you, though, you can at least run Firefox Quantum version 64. So all you have to do is you download Firefox 64. Put a link to it in the description. You want to download it, extract the installer the same way I showed you how to extract 68. You want to extract it, and with 7-zip, and you get into the files for it. So here we go. We're in the files for Firefox 64. You want to copy all of these files here to the Firefox directory. Wherever firefox.exe is at, that's where you want to put them. After you do that, you want to run this .reg file here, the DLL redirection enabler. You want to double click that and run it. I've already done so there's no need to do that for me, but you will want to do that in order for it to work. After you do that, you want to restart your Windows Vista system, boot back into it. You will then want to create a new file here called, so you just you want to right click in the folder, go to new, and then hit text document, and name it firefox.exe.local. And after you do that, it will say, like, oh, do you want to change the file extension or whatever? And you want to just hit yes. So you want to do that. And, yeah. So, let me just test and make sure this works. .local. Well, actually, you know what? You want to, you need to make sure you have it, let's see, you want to go into folder options up here. You want to go to organize, and then folder and search options here. Go to view, and then uncheck this stupid hide extensions for known file types. Uncheck that. And then you should be able to create that file and change the extension from the .txt extension. So like I said, you go in here, you hit new text document, and you want to name it firefox.exe.local. And I've done it here, as you can see. What this does is it tells Firefox, instead of using the System 32 DLLs, which are the Vista ones, like the original Vista DLLs, unextended kernel, if you can call it that, it tells it to use the extended DLLs, which are copied into the Firefox setup folder here, or the Firefox executables location, the same folder. So then, after that, you want to do, like I said, you want to just search for *.exe, and every exe file in here, you want to open it up with Cff Explorer, which I've already done. The same thing, open it up with Cff Explorer, and then go to the optional header, change the 6.0 or the 6.1 to 6.0. And after doing that, you should be able to run Firefox. And then you can use Firefox 64 ESR, or not ESR, it's Firefox 64 Rapid Release. It's that branch. So, this is just normal Firefox. And it, unfortunately, still suffers from the same problems as 68 as far as the codecs go. and everything like that, you are still going to encounter some websites that won't want to play videos properly. But for that, what you can use is Roytam1's browsers, which are basically the browsers that are currently developed by Moonchild Productions. Roytam1 on msfn.org also has made these browsers available for Windows XP and Vista as well. So you have Pale Moon, which is called New Moon in this case, and Basilisk, which is called Serpent. They are both based on Firefox 52, but they still receive security updates. And they do have some rendering engine improvements despite being based on an older version of Firefox. It's not a carbon copy of it. It can still support some new technologies that Firefox 52 cannot do. So, you can use Serpent in addition to this, or you can use something like Yandex, which is based on Chromium 58. It works flawlessly on Vista. There's a link to that on my list if you want to check it out. But that's pretty much it. So hopefully, this is going to spark some excitement in people to try out this extended kernel and maybe get back into using Vista again after very many years of support for Vista just slowly diminishing until we got to a point where all the mainstream web browsers no longer supported it. But thanks to Win32, this is starting to be remedied, and we can actually start running some modern software on Vista. And hopefully as time goes on, more functions will be added. We'll have an x86 version of the extended kernel, and maybe Vista can run just about any piece of software that 7 can, much like 2000 extended kernel can run pretty much anything XP can at this point. Service Pack 2, XP Service Pack 2. So anyway, thank you for watching, and hope everyone's doing well during these pretty tough times, and hope you all enjoyed the video and give this extended kernel a try, because it is definitely worth it and it's really cool. So good luck. Please follow and listen to what I said closely in the video. Don't skip over, and don't just be reckless with your system. Basically, don't replace system files unless you know what you're doing. That is my number one thing, because I'm not your tech support hotline. I'm not going to help you if you mess up, because I told you what to do, and it's up to you to follow what I said and do it the correct way the first time. So don't mean to sound rude, but that's that. Anyway, thank you for watching.